The Zarkonian fleet emerged from hyperspace, their sleek obsidian ships casting long shadows across Earth's moon. Admiral Vexlor stood on the bridge of the flagship, his 4 eyes narrowing as he gazed upon the blue planet. "Status report," he barked. "My lord," a subordinate chirped. "Scans indicate a pre-FTL civilization. Primitive weapons, no unified planetary government. They call themselves humans." Vexlor's mandibles clicked in amusement. "Pathetic. Another world ripe for conquest. Prepare the invasion force." As the Zarkonian armada approached Earth, they intercepted countless transmissions. Music, entertainment, news, a cacophony of human culture. Most of it was dismissed as irrelevant chatter. But one transmission caught Vexlor's attention. A human voice, filled with determination. "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." The Admiral scoffed. "Such bravado from a species that hasn't even left their own star system. They'll crumble at the sight of our might." Little did Vexlor know, humanity had been preparing for this moment for centuries. In secret bunkers and hidden laboratories, Earth's nations had united against the possibility of alien invasion. Dr. Samantha Chun, lead scientist of the Global Defense Initiative, stared at her monitors in disbelief. "It's happening," she whispered, her voice trembling. "They're here." Alarms blared across every major city on the planet. The skies darkened as Zarkonian ships entered the atmosphere. Panic spread like wildfire. In Washington, D.C., President Marcus Reynolds addressed the nation. "My fellow Americans, citizens of Earth, the moment we've long feared and prepared for has arrived. An alien force threatens our world, but we will not go quietly into the night." Across the globe, similar messages rang out. From Beijing to London, Moscow to New Delhi, leaders rallied their people. The message was clear. Humanity would stand and fight. As the first Zarkonian dropships descended upon New York City, they expected easy victory. Their intel suggested humans would flee in terror, abandoning their homes and possessions. Instead, they met resistance. NYPD officer Jake Martinez crouched behind an overturned car, his standard-issue pistol replaced with an experimental plasma rifle. "Come on, you ugly bastards," he shouted, unleashing a barrage of energy bolts at the approaching alien troops. Nearby, a group of civilians had formed an impromptu barricade. Armed with everything from baseball bats to Molotov cocktails, they fought with a ferocity that caught the invaders off guard. "What is this?" a Zarkonian lieutenant hissed. They were supposed to run. Similar scenes played out across the globe. In London, Big Ben's chimes were drowned out by the sound of combat. The streets of Tokyo became battlegrounds. Even in the smallest villages, humans stood their ground. Aboard the flagship, Admiral Vexlor received increasingly panicked reports. "My lord," a communications officer stammered, "we're facing resistance everywhere." Vexlor's eyes widened in shock. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Humans were meant to be easy prey, not this. As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, the Zarkonians found themselves in a stalemate. They held portions of major cities, but at a cost far higher than anticipated. In her underground lab, Dr. Chan worked feverishly. "We've got their attention," she muttered, fingers flying across holographic displays. "Now it's time to show them what humanity is really capable of." The Zarkonians had made a grave miscalculation. They thought humans would flee, but they were mistaken. As dawn broke over a changed Earth, the Zarkonian invasion force regrouped. Admiral Vexlor paced the bridge of his flagship, mandibles clicking in agitation. "How is this possible?" he roared. "They're barely out of their stone age." His second-in-command, Subcommander ZYX, cautiously approached. "My lord, our initial reports were flawed. The humans have technology far beyond what we anticipated, and their will to fight is unprecedented." Vexlor's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll break their will. Launch the Mind Shatter." Across Earth's major cities, massive Zarkonian ships took position. With a bone-chilling hum, they activated their most feared weapon, the Mind Shatter. designed to overwhelm primitive nervous systems and reduce populations to gibbering wrecks. In New York, Officer Jake Martinez felt the first waves of the attack. His head throbbed, vision blurring. "What the hell is this?" he grunted, fighting to stay conscious. All around him, civilians clutched their heads in agony. Some fell to their knees, screaming. Others simply collapsed. But then, something unexpected happened. In a hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Chin's team sprang into action. "Activate the Psi shields," she commanded. "Now!" Across the globe, hidden transmitters hummed to life. A subtle energy field enveloped the planet, invisible to the naked eye but potent in its effect. The screaming stopped. Humans who had fallen rose to their feet, shaking off the alien influence like a bad dream. Jake blinked, his mind clearing. He looked up at the looming Zarkonian ship and grinned. "Nice try, you bastards." Aboard the flagship, alarms blared. "Impossible!" Vexlor screeched. "The mind shatter has never failed." Zwax's voice was grim. "My lord, we're detecting a planetary defense grid. It's blocking our psychic attacks." On the ground, the tide began to turn. Humanity's hidden technological marvels were unveiled one by one. In the skies over London, RAF pilots climbed into sleek fighters that could have come from a sci-fi movie. "All right, lads," Squadron Leader Emma Blackwood's voice crackled over the comms. "Let's show these aliens some proper British hospitality." The fighters streaked into the sky, their advanced propulsion systems leaving the Zarkonian ships in the dust. Energy weapons lanced out, tearing through alien hulls with surprising ease. Meanwhile, in the streets of Tokyo, what the Zarkonians had mistaken for simple barricades suddenly came to life. Mecha suits, piloted by determined defenders, rose up to challenge the invaders. "For Earth and humanity!" shouted pilot Kenji Tanaka as his mecha's fist smashed through a Zarkonian tank. The aliens found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Their superior numbers meant little in the face of humanity's unexpected technological edge and sheer determination. In Moscow's Red Square, a group of babushkas armed with what looked like ordinary brooms unleashed a swarm of nanobots that ate through alien armor like acid. "You want to invade Mother Russia?" one elderly woman cackled. "We've seen worse than you." As reports of human victories flooded in, Dr. Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Phase 1 complete," she murmured. "Now for the real fight." In orbit, Admiral Vexlor's rage reached a boiling point. "Enough of this," he snarled. "Prepare the planet cracker. If we can't have this world, no one will." But as the massive weapon began to power up, a new alert sounded. Zwax's voice was barely a whisper. "My lord, we're detecting multiple wormholes opening. Hundreds, no, thousands of them." Vexlor rushed to the view screen, his four eyes widening in shock. Emerging from the wormholes was an armada that dwarfed his own. Ships of clearly human design, but far more advanced than anything he'd seen on the planet below. A transmission crackled through. A human voice, filled with authority and a hint of amusement. "This is Admiral Helena Vasquez of the Earth Defense Fleet. You boys started this party without us, but we're happy to help with the cleanup." As human warships engaged the Zarkonian fleet, Vexlor realized the terrible truth. They hadn't invaded a primitive world. They'd walked into a trap. As Earth's orbital defense fleet engaged the Zarkonians in space, the ground war intensified. Humanity's hidden strengths were now on full display, but the alien invaders weren't going down without a fight. In the ruins of Chicago, Sergeant Maria Rodriguez led her squad through rubble-strewn streets. Their mission, to take out a Zarkonian command post that had dug in deep. "Keep your eyes peeled, people," Maria hissed. "These bastards have more tricks up their sleeves than—" "Ambush!" Private Chen yelled as plasma bolts sizzled through the air. The squad dove for cover as Zarkonian shock troopers materialized from cloaking fields. Their mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "You think your primitive weapons can hurt us?" the alien leader taunted. Maria's eyes narrowed. "Primitive? Let me show you primitive." She pulled a small sphere from her vest and hurled it at the Zarkonians. It exploded in a blinding flash of light and something else. When the light faded, the alien troopers stood frozen, encased in some kind of crystal. Quantum entanglement grenade, Maria explained to her wide-eyed squad, courtesy of Dr. Chun and her eggheads. Now let's move. Across the globe, similar scenes played out. Humanity's defenders wielded technology that seemed to blur the line between science and magic. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous tribes armed with blow darts tipped with nanite-infused poison brought down Zarkonian dropships. Chief Rayoni grinned as another ship crashed into the canopy. They think because we live in harmony with nature, we reject technology, he said to a group of awestruck UN observers. We simply hide it better. Meanwhile, in orbit, Admiral Helena Vasquez's fleet was giving the Zarkonians a brutal lesson in space combat. Target their flagship, she commanded. Let's cut the head off this snake. As human ships swarmed the massive Zarkonian vessel, Admiral Vexlor felt something he'd never experienced before. Fear. How is this possible? He screeched. They were supposed to be helpless. Subcommander ZYX, bleeding from a head wound, managed a bitter laugh. It seems, my lord, that we were the helpless ones all along. On the ground, the tide was turning decisively in humanity's favor, but the Zarkonians, realizing their defeat was imminent, turned to desperate measures. In New Delhi, a massive alien war machine rose from the ground, its tendrils lashing out to destroy entire city blocks. It's a world eater. Dr. Chin's voice crackled over global comms. If it fully activates, it'll consume the planet's core. As panic began to spread, an unlikely hero stepped forward. Amir Khan, a street food vendor, approached the machine with nothing but his trusty food cart. Hey, you big ugly thing, he shouted. How about a last meal? Before anyone could stop him, Amir had wheeled his cart right up to the world eater. With a defiant yell, he flipped a switch. The seemingly innocuous cart exploded, releasing a swarm of microscopic robots. They swarmed over the alien machine, disassembling it faster than the eye could follow. In minutes, the World Eater was reduced to a heap of scrap metal. Amir dusted off his hands, grinning at the stunned soldiers around him. What? You think I just sell samosas all day? As news of the victory spread, cheers erupted worldwide. But Dr. Chin's voice cut through the celebration. It's not over yet, people. We've won the battle on Earth, but the real fight is up there. She pointed to the sky, where flashes of light marked the ongoing space battle. It's time, she continued, to show these aliens why you don't mess with humanity. Initiate Operation Starhammer. Across the planet, hidden silos opened. Massive rockets, long concealed from both alien and human eyes, roared to life. As they streaked towards space, Admiral Vasquez couldn't help but smile. You wanted to see primitive Zarkonians? Well, here comes the biggest stick humanity's ever swung. The rockets weren't weapons. They were ships, carrier vessels, each one holding thousands of smaller craft and brave volunteers ready to take the fight to the stars. As Earth unleashed its full might, the Zarkonians realized a terrible truth. They hadn't invaded a planet. They'd awakened a sleeping giant. And humanity was about to show the galaxy why that was a very big mistake. The void of space erupted in a dazzling display of human ingenuity and firepower. Operation Starhammer was underway, and the Zarkonian fleet found itself caught in a pincer movement between Admiral Vasquez's orbital defense force and the newly arrived reinforcements from Earth. Aboard the lead carrier, callsign THUND RCHILD, Commander Zara Okonkwo watched as her fighters swarmed from the launch base. All wings report in, she commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Red leader, standing by. Blue leader, ready to kick some alien ass. Green leader, let's show him what Earth can do. As the human fighters engaged, it became clear that they weren't just holding their own, they were dominating. Zarkonian ships, caught off guard by the sudden assault, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Human pilots pulled off maneuvers that seemed to defy the laws of physics, their ships equipped with inertial dampeners and gravity drives that allowed for impossible turns and accelerations. What is this? Admiral Vexlor screamed as another of his capital ships erupted in flames. How are they doing this? Subcommander ZYX, now looking decidedly worse for wear, could only shake his head. "My lord, it appears the humans have mastered technologies we deemed impossible." On the Thunderchild's bridge, Commander Okonkwo allowed herself a grim smile. "That's right, you bastards. We've had a long time to prepare for this day." But the Zarkonians weren't going down without a fight. Realizing their technological advantage was lost, they resorted to sheer numbers, launching wave after wave of fighters and bombers. "They're trying to overwhelm us." Red Leader's voice crackled over the comms. "There's too many of them." Commander Okonkwo's eyes narrowed. "Then it's time for our secret weapon. All ships, initiate Nexus Protocol." Across the human fleet, a ripple of energy pulsed. Suddenly, every human ship, from the smallest fighter to the largest carrier, was linked in a vast neural network. Pilots found their reactions accelerated, their awareness expanded. They moved not as individuals, but as a single, devastating force. The effect was immediate and catastrophic for the Zarkonians. Human fighters danced through the void, moving with impossible coordination. Where before they had been merely superior, now they were untouchable. Admiral Vasquez's voice boomed across all channels. "Push them back. Don't let up." On Earth, Dr. Chun watched the battle unfold on her monitors, a mix of pride and concern on her face. "It's working," she murmured. "But at what cost?" The neural link was taking its toll. Pilots pushed their bodies and minds to the limit, some bleeding from their noses as the strain became too much. But they didn't stop. They couldn't stop. The fate of Earth, of all humanity, hung in the balance. As the battle raged, a new threat emerged. The Zarkonian flagship, realizing defeat was imminent, began to power up its main gun, a weapon capable of cracking a planet in two. "They're going to try and take Earth with them," Admiral Vasquez shouted. "We need to stop that ship now." But the human fleet was spread thin, engaged in countless dogfights across the solar system. There was no way to break through in time. Or so it seemed. From the surface of the moon, unnoticed until now, a massive cannon emerged, a relic of an old defense program, long thought abandoned. Dr. Chin's voice, tight with tension, came through. "This is our last shot." Powering up the Artemis cannon. Energy crackled across the lunar surface as the ancient weapon came to life. With a flash that momentarily outshone the sun, it fired. The beam struck the Zarkonian flagship dead center. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent scream of tortured metal, the massive ship split in two. Admiral Vexlor's last words were lost in the vacuum of space as his ship, and with it the hope of Zarkonian victory, disintegrated. A cheer went up across the human fleet. But the celebration was short-lived. "We're picking up new signals," a sensor operator on the Thunderchild reported. "Hundreds of them. No, thousands." Commander Okonkwo's blood ran cold. "Zarkonian reinforcements?" "No, ma'am," the operator replied, confusion evident in his voice. They're hailing us." In English. As the new arrivals came into view, humans across the fleet gasped in awe. Ships of designs never before seen. Some organic, some crystalline, others defying description entirely. A transmission came through, broadcasted to every human ship and device. "People of Earth, we are the Galactic Concord. We have watched your battle with great interest. You have proven yourselves worthy. It is time for humanity to take its place among the stars." As the message sank in, Dr. Chin's voice, filled with wonder and a hint of trepidation, summed up what everyone was thinking. "Well, folks, it looks like the real adventure is just beginning." As the debris of the Zarkonian fleet drifted through space, humanity found itself face to face with a new reality. The arrival of the Galactic Concord had changed everything. On board the Thunderchild, Commander Okonkwo stood in awe as holographic representations of various alien species flickered to life on the bridge, each more bizarre and wondrous than the last. "Greetings, warriors of Earth," a crystalline being chimed, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "I am Xylos, speaker for the Concord. We have much to discuss." Dr. Chin's voice crackled over the comms. "This is unprecedented. We need to establish a secure location for these talks immediately." Within hours, A summit unlike any in human history was convened. The location: a massive space station that seemingly appeared out of nowhere, just beyond the moon's orbit. As representatives from Earth's nations gathered, alongside military leaders and scientific minds, the truth began to unfold. Xylos, its crystalline form shimmering, addressed the assembly. Humans of Earth, you have been part of a great experiment, one that has spanned millennia. A murmur ran through the crowd. Admiral Vasquez stepped forward, her eyes narrowing. What do you mean, experiment? Another alien, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid suit, spoke up. Your planet was seeded with potential long ago. We watched as you evolved, as you built civilizations, as you reached for the stars. But why? Dr. Chen demanded, her scientific curiosity overriding her awe. A third alien, resembling a sentient forest more than a single being, rustled its leaves. To see if you could overcome your own nature. To see if you could unite in the face of external threat. The implications hit like a thunderbolt. Jake Martinez, the NYPD officer who had fought in the streets of New York, voiced what everyone was thinking. You mean the Zarkonians were part of this? Xylos chimed again, a note of sadness in its resonance. No, the Zarkonians were an unexpected variable, a true threat that we did not anticipate. But their arrival, the energy being continued, accelerated the final phase of the experiment. It forced humanity to reveal its true potential. The forest aliens' leaves rustled in what might have been applause. And oh, how you exceeded our expectations. As the assembled humans tried to process this information, Xylos projected a series of images. They showed Earth, but not as anyone had ever seen it. Beneath the surface, extending deep into the planet's core, was a vast network of machinery, ancient beyond comprehension, yet more advanced than anything humanity had ever dreamed of. This, Xylos explained, is the true face of Earth, a planet-sized incubator designed to nurture and challenge your species. Dr. Chen's eyes widened in realization. Our quantum leaps in technology, our ability to reverse engineer alien tech so quickly. It wasn't just human ingenuity, was it? The energy being flickered in what might have been a nod. Your minds were subtly guided. Key individuals throughout your history were inspired. But the achievements, the will to survive and thrive, that was all human. Admiral Vasquez, her military mind racing, cut to the chase. So what happens now? What was all this for? Xylos's crystalline form pulsed with excitement. Now, humanity takes its place among the stars. You have proven yourselves worthy of joining the galactic concord. But more than that, the forest alien added. You have shown qualities that many of us had forgotten. Determination, adaptability, the ability to face impossible odds and emerge victorious. The energy being's voice held a note of urgency. We need these qualities. For there are threats in this galaxy far greater than the Zarkonians. Threats that have pushed even the Concord to its limits. As the implications sank in, a mix of emotions swept through the human representatives. Pride at their achievements, anger at being manipulated, fear of the unknown, and excitement for what lay ahead. President Reynolds, who had rallied Earth during the invasion, stepped forward. I think I speak for all of humanity when I say, we have a lot of questions. Xylos chimed in agreement. And we have much to share. But know this, while we guided your development, the strength you showed, the ingenuity you displayed, the sheer determination in the face of annihilation, that was all you. As the summit continued, plans were made. Earth would be gradually introduced to galactic society. Technology would be shared, alliances formed. But even as humanity looked to the stars, a new resolve formed. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger. They had proven themselves not just to alien observers, but to themselves. Whatever challenges the galaxy held, humanity was ready. They had thought the humans would flee. They were mistaken. And now, the entire galaxy would learn just what humanity was capable of. As Earth integrated into the galactic concord, humanity's unique qualities began to shine on an interstellar stage. What the Concord races hadn't anticipated was just how quickly humans would adapt and innovate. At the newly established Terran embassy on Centauri Prime, Ambassador Layla Patel stood before a gathering of alien dignitaries. Her voice rang out, clear and confident. Fellow sentients, today marks a new era in galactic cooperation. Humanity is proud to present the Nexus engine, a hologram flickered to life, showcasing a device that defied conventional understanding. It pulsed with an inner light, its geometry shifting in ways that hurt the eye to follow. Xylos, the crystalline being, chimed in confusion. What is this? Dr. Chun, now sporting the title of Earth's chief scientific liaison, stepped forward. Her eyes gleamed with pride. It's the culmination of human innovation and the knowledge you've shared with us. The Nexus engine doesn't just bridge space, it bridges realities. A murmur ran through the assembled aliens, the energy being flickered rapidly, its voice tinged with disbelief. But this is impossible. Even we haven't mastered transdimensional technology. Ambassador Patel smiled. Impossible? That word isn't in humanity's vocabulary. As demonstrations began, the true potential of the Nexus engine became clear. It could create stable wormholes, tap into alternate dimensions for near-limitless energy, and even manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. The forest aliens' leaves rustled agitatedly. This power, it's too much for a young race. It could destabilize the entire Concord. Admiral Vasquez, now overseeing Earth's contribution to the Concord's defense forces, stepped in. Her voice was steel. With all due respect, it's precisely because we're a young race that we could develop this. We're not bound by millennia of established thinking. We see possibilities where you see limitations. As the implications sank in, a new respect for humanity began to spread among the Concord races. But with it came fear. Humanity had gone from newcomers to potential superpower in a matter of months. Back on Earth, in a secret facility deep beneath the Mariana Trench, Jake Martinez, now Colonel Martinez of Earth's Special Operations Division, oversaw the training of a new breed of soldier. "All right, people," he barked. "The Nexus engine isn't just for scientific exploration. It's a game-changer in warfare. And we need to be ready." Recruits from around the world pushed themselves to the limit, learning to harness the engine's power in combat simulations. They phased through solid matter, manipulated gravity, and bent light itself to their will. One recruit, panting heavily after a particularly grueling exercise, voiced what many were thinking. "Sir, with this power, are we becoming the very thing we fought against? A threat to the galaxy?" Jake's eyes softened for a moment. "That's why it's crucial we remember our humanity. Power isn't good or evil. It's how we use it that matters." As Earth's influence grew, tensions within the galactic Concord began to rise. Some races embraced the rapid advancements, eager to learn and collaborate. Others grew wary, seeing echoes of ancient, fallen empires in humanity's meteoric rise. In a private chamber on Centauri Prime, Xylos conferred with the other founding races of the Concord. "We may have made a grave error," the crystalline being chimed, its tone somber. "Humanity's potential may outstrip even our greatest predictions." The energy being flickered thoughtfully. "Perhaps, but remember why we sought them out in the first place. The old threats stir in the dark between galaxies. We need their innovation, their adaptability." The forest alien rustled in agreement. "Indeed, the question is not whether we can control humanity, but whether we can guide them to become the allies we so desperately need." As the debate raged on, a new signal reached the fringes of Concord space. A message, ancient and terrible, that chilled even the most seasoned diplomats to their core. "The harvesters awaken. All will be consumed." In that moment, the Concord realized that their gamble on humanity might be the galaxy's only hope. For as the greatest threat in cosmic history stirred from its eons-long slumber, Earth stood ready, not just to fight, but to revolutionize the very nature of the conflict. The humans had surprised the Zarkonians with their refusal to flee. Now, they were about to shock the entire galaxy with their refusal to submit to any threat, no matter how ancient or powerful. The stage was set for humanity's greatest challenge yet, and they were ready to face it head-on, armed with technology that bordered on magic and a determination that knew no bounds. The galaxy held its breath, wondering, what would humanity do next? The news of the Harvester's awakening sent shockwaves through the galactic concord. Ancient races trembled, remembering the devastation wrought eons ago. But humanity, in its characteristic fashion, saw not just a threat, but an opportunity. In the war room of the Terran flagship, Defiance, Admiral Vasquez addressed a mix of human and alien military leaders. Her voice rang with steel resolve. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all designations, we've faced extinction before and emerged stronger. The Harvesters think they'll consume us? Well, I say it's time we show them that humanity bites back. A cheer went up, surprising even the most stoic of alien commanders. Humanity's fervor was infectious. Dr. Chun, surrounded by holograms displaying mind-bending equations, spoke next. We've integrated the Nexus engine into our fleet. But that's just the beginning. Behold, Project Phoenix. The display shifted, showing a massive construct taking shape in Earth's orbit. Part ship, part mobile battle station, it defied conventional design. By the stars, Xylos chimed, its crystalline form vibrating in awe. What is that? Chin's eyes gleamed with pride. It's hope, given form. The Phoenix can regenerate from almost any damage, drawing energy from alternate dimensions. But more importantly, it can reset localized areas of space-time. The implications hit like a supernova. With the Phoenix, they could potentially undo the damage wrought by the Harvesters, restoring entire worlds. As the Harvester fleet approached, casting shadows across entire star systems, the Concorde braced for impact. But humanity was far from done surprising their alien allies. Colonel Jake Martinez, leading an elite team of Nexus commandos, infiltrated the lead Harvester ship. Their mission: to plant a transdimensional beacon that would allow the Phoenix to target the enemy's command structure. Remember, team, Jake's voice crackled over secure comms, we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for every sentient being in this galaxy. As battles raged across multiple star systems, the true power of humanity's innovations became clear. Concorde ships, retrofitted with Nexus tech, danced through the void, outmaneuvering the lumbering Harvester vessels. But the Harvesters were ancient and vast. For every ship destroyed, two more seemed to take its place. The tide of battle ebbed and flowed, entire worlds hanging in the balance. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Ambassador Patel stood alongside the highest-ranking members of the Concorde. Her voice was calm, but filled with determination. All our lives, we've looked to the stars and wondered, are we alone? Are we special? Today, we answer those questions. We are not alone, but by all that's holy, we are special. Humanity doesn't just survive. We thrive in adversity. And today, we'll show the cosmos just how brightly we can shine. With that, she gave the command. The Phoenix, powered by the combined will of billions of souls across the Concorde, activated its primary weapon. A pulse of energy, defying all known laws of physics, rippled out. Where it touched Harvester ships, they simply ceased to be. Not destroyed, but erased from the very fabric of space-time. The Harvesters, for the first time in their ancient existence, knew fear. As the battle reached its climax, Jake and his team faced off against the Harvester Overmind, a being of such vast intellect and power that it had consumed entire civilizations. You are but motes of dust, the Overmind boomed, its voice shaking the very molecules of the air. How dare you resist us? Jake, bloodied but unbowed, grinned fiercely. Dust we may be, but we're the dust that brings down empires. We're humanity, you overgrown space squid, and we don't know how to quit. With a primal yell, he activated the beacon. The Phoenix's energy surged through, amplified by the Nexus engine. The Overmind screamed, a sound that would haunt dreams for generations as it was torn from reality. In an instant, the seemingly invincible Harvester threat was gone, not destroyed, but removed from the timeline, as if they had never existed. As the dust settled and the Concorde took stock, a new reality dawned. Humanity, the newcomers, the upstarts, had done the impossible. They had not just defeated an ancient evil, they had erased it. In the aftermath, As celebrations erupted across 1,000 worlds, Xylos approached Ambassador Patel. The crystalline being's chimes were soft, almost reverent. We thought we were guiding you, nurturing you to face the threats we could not. But in truth, you were always meant to lead us. Humanity's spirit, your relentless drive to overcome, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. Patel smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. We're just getting started, my friend. The galaxy's a big place, full of wonders and terrors alike. But wherever we go, whatever we face, know this: humanity will never back down, never surrender, and never stop reaching for the stars. As news of the victory spread, a new age dawned for the Galactic Concord. With humanity at the forefront, the future seemed brighter than ever. The beings who once thought humans would flee now looked to Earth for leadership, inspiration, and hope. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson: never underestimate humanity. For when pushed to the brink, they don't just survive. They revolutionize the very nature of existence itself.